Just about servlets and how to write a servlet and how to create a form-based data. So when you enter some data and click on submit, the request will go to the server and the servlet will execute. So today we'll see some more things.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So yesterday we created servlet with servlet, generic servlet. Okay. And the third way of creating a servlet is HTTP servlet. HTTP servlet interface, servlet class. Okay. HTTP servlet class is extending to generic servlet, and that generic servlet is implementing to servlet interface. And that servlet interface contains all the methods, the lifecycle methods like init, service, and destroy method. Okay, that methods was inherited by generic servlet, and those methods are inherited again by HTTP servlet. Why this is happening? Because in HTTP servlet they have added one more service method which takes a request as not only just servlet request but HTTP servlet request, because the request which is coming to the server will come in the form of HTTP servlet request form. HTTP servlet request form, and this HTTP servlet request is the interface. See here in the packages, it is in javax.servlet.http package, HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response. These two interfaces are the parameters of service method and from javax.servlet.http package. All right, so we'll create the servlet now, but before that let's quickly see how to execute a servlet in Eclipse. Okay, so we'll see HTTP servlet request with 1 second. All right, so let's log in ID. The first thing we need is server, because we need to map the server. Okay, if it is not already mapped with your location, workspace location where your all projects will be. Okay, for that you must have server installed in your machine. Okay, now first thing is, until now we are doing core Java and JDBC in different perspective, that is JSE perspective in Eclipse. Okay, there are so many perspectives available in Eclipse, in which to work with JEE applications, means server-side applications, you have to change the perspective. Okay, you can go to Windows, perspective, and you can change the perspective from here. Open perspective, others. You will be having so many perspectives here. Okay, the base one is the Java one. Okay, and we need to work on Java EE, Java Enterprise Edition perspective. Open the perspective there. Okay, so you will get some extra options here like server. Okay, server. If you don't find that, you can just go and show view and display the server if it got closed. Okay, here already I have some projects. Those are the JDBC projects. And first thing, there's no servers available here in the server section. All right, so either you can just directly click there and add any server, whichever you're installing, whether it's a Tomcat, JBoss, or anything else. All right, or you can go to Windows, preferences. Here you will see server options and runtime environment. Here you can add a server here by clicking on add. You will find some default options. Okay, like Apache, Basic, IBM, JBoss. Okay, IBM, yes, IBM is for WebSphere. We are working with Tomcat. If you go to Tomcat, he will give you options for so many Tomcat versions, 3.2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have installed Tomcat 9. Tomcat 9 here. Okay, select that and click on next. Click on next. The name is application Tomcat 9.0. Application Tomcat 9.0. Okay. Now, what you need to do here is you will see Tomcat installation directory. Browse. Okay. In C drive, program files, Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat 9.0. Select folder. Okay, because in this Tomcat 9.0 only you will be server is available over there. Okay, click on finish, apply and close. That's it. You just have to add a server, give the path where if you install somewhere else, you can just go there and map to the server. Okay. Perspective is empty. Yeah, that's correct. You must have to download the JEE version of Eclipse, or somewhere you can add it from marketplace if it is not this for JEE perspective also. Okay, but it's a long process. By default, every Eclipse will have perspective. You have to download the JEE version. While installing, you will be having one Java version and JEE version. You have to install JEE version. Okay. If it is not there, you can if still not, you don't find it in this marketplace, there are so many plugins and perspectives you will find. Okay, you can search, but it will take a lot of time. It will sometimes so many versions are available that might not support. Okay, so just better go for E perspective, and it will take some time. So I'll just checking for updates. Okay, next. So if you still don't find that, just click on the servers or click here. Where is the JEE perspective? Click on Tomcat 9. Next, finish. All right, your Tomcat server is added here. Okay, server is added here. You can start the server, stop the server. You will be having some options here. Okay, first thing is server is mapped here. If you wanted to make some changes, internal changes like port numbers and all those things, you can do it from here, but don't disturb anything. Okay, unless required in application formats. That goes in Spring, where you wanted to add some data sources inside the Tomcat server only. That's a different story, but still for now, for servlets, don't try to add or remove anything from the servers. Okay, now, so once you have mapped the servers, next thing what you need to do is you can just create a simple project and write a servlet class. First thing, okay, go for file, new, and create a project. Either you can simply create a Java project and convert it into a servlet version, or if you wanted to get a fully mapped project, you can go for dynamic web project. Dynamic web project. Click on that. Okay, give some project name. I'm giving my project 1. Okay, just check once what are the versions here, what's the runtime environment you're using here, Tomcat 9. Okay, dynamic web module version, all these things, just keep it as default. Click on next. SRC is the folder where all the source code will be available, and by default it's showing you classes folder where your classes in the build classes folder where your .class files will be available. Okay, click on next. My project, that's the root one. Okay, web content, where you can add the web content, and you can generate a web.xml file. Okay, it will automatically get generated, the deployment descriptor file. check that box and click on finish. Okay, so it will create a project with it's a dynamic web project. Okay, where you will find so many things. All right, so my project is ready here. You can see the symbol is different here now. These are the Java projects. This is a web project. Okay, if you expand this, there are so many things available here. If you get confused, don't add anything there. And what you can do here is, in this Java resources, you will find SRC folder where you can add your source code, where you can write your Java programs. Okay, and by default, you will be having build class where it's hidden right now, but there you will get the .class files. In the web content, you will be having two generated folders, meta-inf and web-inf. Okay, you don't have to worry about meta-inf, web-inf. We have already seen web-inf is nothing but inside the server. Okay, if you expand web-inf, lib folder is already there, and web.xml file, deployment descriptor file is already there. Okay, so here you just have to worry about writing classes inside the SRC folder. Next, you can go for deployment descriptor file where you can map your servlet classes to it. Okay, now you don't have to write the class, compile and copy and paste it inside another folder. It will automatically will be done. Okay, next, so let's quickly create a simple class and try to execute that. New, you can just go for the class, write a class and extend to a servlet or extend to HTTP servlet, like some package name you're giving and some class name. Okay, here this is all the manual process. What you can do here is you can extends generic servlet. Okay, extends generic servlet. What is telling? Add unimplemented methods means there are some abstract methods available. There are some abstract methods available because this class is abstract. So add unimplemented methods. So what packages, which is this abstract method I told you, which must be overridden? That's the service method. That's the service method which you are overriding, and all the packages, all the classes will be and interfaces are imported automatically. Okay, now what you can do here, you can just write something here, service method, and or service method executed. Service method will be executed here. Okay, now once your project is ready, you can go to web.xml file. Okay, and go to the source code here where some predefined things are generated. Right now I don't want this, all the welcome files, and Control Shift F format. Okay, so what's the root tag in web.xml? It's the servlet. In this we have servlet name and servlet class. All right, same way, go for servlet mapping, servlet name and URL pattern. All right, so all this mapping right now, I don't want this one. So for simple one, when we are going for Maven projects in the frameworks, that will be useful. Okay, so your deployment descriptor file is ready. Now what's your class name? Sample class, and some name you can give to map with your URL pattern, and just give as sample. Your deployment descriptor file is ready. Just our servlet class is ready. Okay. Servlet class is ready. Okay. We have already seen the printout, right? So we can just display something to the output. To display something to the output, what you need? Response. Response object. Response dot get writer. Okay. Get writer. And out dot println of servlet program. All right. So the service method is ready. Okay, it's compiled automatically. You don't have to add anything extra. All right. Now let's see. Give this to a. You need to deploy this project, but manually we are doing copy and pasting inside the server. Here, what you can do, you can just go to the server, right click on the server. You have add and remove option here. Okay, or you can just right click on your project, run on server. When you click on run on server, it's Tomcat 9 I wanted to run on. Next. Okay, my project is already deployed. Okay, sometimes you will see here, if you wanted to remove that, you can just move it, remove it. Okay, this will be moved at this location. All right, and you wanted to deploy again, you can just click on that and add the project. So there will be a list of projects which is deployed in your server. Click on finish. Project is deployed and server is starting. Server has started and it's mapping to what's my web.xml file, mapping to /sample. All right, so this is the internal web browser. This is the internal client application for Eclipse, which is already by default. There are some settings where you can just directly open the external web client. Okay, /sample and click on run. We got 500. 500 means internal server. There's some mistake we did. Instantiate in servlet class. We are not able to create the object of sample. 1 second. Class not found. Okay, that's why, because we are not able to create the object. Java servlet. We got exception on server as well. Class not found. See, no servlet application require main method. When it's the responsibility of the server to run this class. Okay, because the server looks for web.xml file where we are mapping it. It's the responsibility of server. And the thing is, in every server there will be a JVM. Okay, it's server's JVM which executes the classes, not my JVM which is installed in my machine. So I'm just giving my project to the server and map my request to that class. So I'm just telling, go to this server location and execute this sample class. Okay, going to this link and execute sample class. So that class will be loaded inside the server's JVM, and that JVM will run this class. So we have to take care about how to map properly and how to execute the class. Okay, and who will execute? Service method will execute all the where we write the logic, print writer to display the output. All these things we have to do. Running the application will be done by server's JVM. Okay, no main method is required. We are not running this. We are just mapping it to the server. But we are getting some external server. We are not able to create a sample class object. We have sample class object here. Which 1 second. Okay. So we are in, it's by default searching in sample class we have to give. Okay, this is also one of the major thing which you will see in the tags in the future. Every time you are mentioning anything in class, you have to give fully qualified name. Fully qualified name. com.org.sample, where that class is available. Even if you're giving simple predefined Java classes also, string class you wanted to run, java.lang.string you need to give, java.util.scanner class. Like this, you have to give fully qualified name. So let's try this now one more time. Refresh this. 404. Okay, we need to restart the server, I guess. We made some changes. Okay, right click on the server and restart. Server is restarting. Restarted server. Let me refresh this one. Welcome to servlet programming. Because we did not give the fully qualified name, it's not able to search the classes. Okay. And on the server, you can see system.out.println and messages will be gets executed. So every time you request something, SOPs will execute here. So you need to know, you can know like this, like how many times the request come to the server, like this. Okay, every time I refresh, it will be loaded. Service method is executing. Every time service method is getting executed, I'm getting this println. I'm getting this println with it. Okay, you can just, this is the simple way of creating a class. Or what you can do here is, you can perform one more thing. Instead of going for new class, okay, you can just directly create a servlet here. See here, you have one option called servlet. Click on servlet. It's in SRC. What's the package here? com.scr. Class name I'm giving as demo. By default, its superclass is extending to javax.servlet.http servlet. That's the third option which I told you. Okay, HTTP servlet. Okay, this is the one. Previously, we used to extend with servlet, implement with servlet, then extending to generic servlet also you can do. Now the final option you will be having is HTTP servlet, because you will be having so many options there. 2 service methods, okay, where you have to take as HTTP servlet request, or do get with HTTP servlet request, do post with HTTP servlet request. So many options you will be having in this HTTP servlet class. It is the enhanced version of creating a servlet. Okay, now let's go there. So superclass is by default extending to HTTP servlet. Click on next. All right, description, name, by default URL mapping is taking /demo. Next. All right, so any interfaces which you wanted to implement extra here, if not required anything. By default, it's inheriting writing the constructor and some abstract method. There are so many methods you wanted to override. Suppose you wanted to override init method also, you wanted to write some extra logic there. What you can do, init method is there, get servlet info, do post, do head, destroy. So many options he is giving. I want service method here. Okay, I don't want do post, I'm unchecking that, and do get. All right, service method, inherited abstract method, and constructor from superclass. That also you can remove it. Okay, click on finish. So your demo class will be ready here. Okay, and some packages which gets imported. Okay, some documentation comments, and there is an annotation here which we don't want right now. We are working with XML files, not with annotations. I'm removing that. Some serialized version. Okay, demo constructor is getting created, and protected void service method with HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response. and which is throwing some servlet exception. Okay, where you can write some logic here. Directly it's creating the class. Okay, now before this executing class, I wanted to create one form where I can enter some data and click on submit so that the data will executed by the servlet. Okay, so we have web components. So by default, the .class classes are inside the web-inf. So it is, I have to write some form-based data outside this web-inf folder. That means in the web component only, not inside web-inf, inside the web component only, what you can do, right click here, new, create a, either you can create a file and give as .html or just directly create a HTML file. So I just wanted to give as input.html or just login.html file. Click on next and finish it. You can edit it later. Okay, so by default there is a format it is giving, HTML header, title and body, which is giving. Okay, protected where this protected, that's the protected version which we see. What's protected is the access specifier. So any method which is having protected, which will be inherited by its own class. What is the access specifier rules for protected version? And this protected is given by who? Protected means public means this service method can be accessed from anywhere. Private means only within this class. Protected means only within my package or the child classes. That means if there is a child class for this class, that only that method can access this method, not any other class or any other package, because this will be executed by the server. Not any other class can execute my service method. Getting the point? You have to know what protected means. Protected means only within my package this service method will execute, or the child classes, even if they belong to some other packages. Okay, one second. All right, so, and this protected is given by default. I'm not giving this. This is already given by the HTTP servlet class. Service method is given as protected. Okay. Next, so what we are doing, we are creating a form based, yes, login.html page. Inside the body, what you can do, there has to be one form where the action, the URL which you are giving, you can give it and suppose you enter email or email ID. Input type is equals to text and input type is equals to text and some name we need to give, right? Name is equals to which will be read by the user email / ends the tag, and if you want to go to next line, break. Same way, password input What type of input you wanted to give? Type is equals to, if you wanted to hide your password, there is a tag called password. Okay, so it will not be in the text format when you're entering the password. And name is equals to, so I'm giving some name you pass that will be read by the servlet break. Okay, enter email address and password. I wanted to give as submit option. Input type is equals to submit, and name we have to click on submit, right? So value will be, I'm just giving as login. Okay, save this file. Your form is ready, and the request will go to this action, which should be your web.xml file. Let me just create. Where is my web.xml file? Here it is. Okay, and I wanted to, if you don't want to disturb this, what you can do, you can just take one more pattern and paste it here. Okay, what's my class name? URL is login with the name. I'm just giving log with the same name which servlet class must execute. This servlet class, which is com.ser.demo. Okay, com.servlet.demo. Clear? Next. com.ser.demo. So demo class is not saved. It's saved. Okay, now we need to read the details from the login page into the service method. All right. Two 2.5 version of what? version of web.xml file. Which one you're talking about? While creating a servlet class of server version, the server which you wanted to take, or some other version which you're talking about? Another web.xml file you're talking. Okay, we'll see that. Let me just complete this one. See, most of the things I'm doing this manually. Maybe some other versions are getting updated automatically for web.xml files. Okay, because I'm removing the mapping files where web.xml file will be read from the internet. Okay, which the paths which I have removed from web apps. So this is all the changes I need to do for myself, if that is what you're talking about. Okay, so once you enter login details, enter email ID. You will enter the email ID that will be stored inside the you email that you need, that is inside the request object now. Okay, that request will go to the server, and server will execute. The request will store inside this request parameter. Service method will execute. Okay, so from that request object, I need to take out the email address. Request dot get parameter. What parameter you wanted to read? User email, and I'm just storing inside a string object. Okay, same way, request dot, there's a method called get parameter of what you're entering here, user password. Password. All right, so you have username and password. If you wanted to verify, you can just give some simple logic like if condition email dot, you can use equals method to compare the string objects. So whatever the email you are writing, at topple.com and password dot equals to of the password which you are storing is something password 1. If that is what I am entering, you just string is equals to, give some simple if logic, if else logic. You are a valid user, or else block, or str equals to invalid username or password. Please try again. Okay, so str, so I'll just take it as outside declare for null values. All right, so what's happening here? I'm entering if username and the password. If this is the username and password, then execute. Just give the message as valid user or invalid user. All right, and you wanted to display this valid user or invalid user back to the client. So what you can do, you can just go back to the response dot get writer, which will give you the print writer object. Print writer object. Okay, writer dot println of str. Writer dot println of str. Whatever the version you are getting, you can just display, or you can just display in the HTTP format. Means you can writer dot println of string. Let me just copy this. HTML and also I will take it as center, and the center first. Then because this is we are giving because of response in the HTML format. Okay, save this file. Your class is ready, reading and responding. And what you need to do, your login file is there. with login details, and web.xml file is there with some login com.scr. Let's see for errors. For that, I need to deploy this project. Okay, go to servers. The project is already added, I guess, right? Add or remove. In the same project only we are giving, right? I'm just removing and deploying one more time just for references. Where's my console? Or better we restart this one. Okay, now you can run this project on server. Server, finish, and what's my not login? That's login.html. Enter the username. .com and some password you're giving. Click on valid. Okay. We're getting 404 means what type of error it is? It's not even recognizing. So the request should go. So let's start from the beginning here. Is it going to? No, it's not going to log in here. So can I just give login actions taking there? Or let me just, okay, see directly after 9,000 it's going to log in. It's not taking the project name. So I guess I need to give here the project name as well. Copy login.html. I want my project 1 and login. Save this file and refresh this one. Okay, what's my email ID? Password 1. Click on login. You are a valid user. I got the output. Okay, getting the point. That's the login form which you can create with the help of Servlet in Eclipse. If you wanted to enter something else, what you can do, you just execute one more time with something else, like, okay, and if you enter anything wrong, invalid username or password, please try again. Okay, there will be some other formats. You can add some hyperlink where it will redirect to some login page where you can enter the login name and password one more time, and again keep on trying until you enter the correct password. Okay, there are some more add-ons. So what password I have added here? See, one more thing you can add. When you're sending the request to the server, your username and password is attaching with the URL and going to the server. Means everyone can see your password here. All right, so randomly I have added some number. Whatever the password is, everyone can see. So to encrypt that, we have one more options in HTML pages. In the action format, what you can do here is, I guess, yes, method type you can change. By default, method type is get. Okay, when there is a get request, that means whatever the content you are sending in the form based, whatever the content you are saying in the form based, what you can do, you can that will be attached with the URL and go to the server, like we discussed in HTTP format. Okay, with the URI it is attaching. I don't want the username or password to be attached with the URL. Okay, I want to keep it encrypted. That means I want to keep the password, username and password inside the request body. That's the fourth option of HTTP request. If you remember the second class or first class, I guess. Okay, fourth option, I wanted to encrypt. So what you can do, you can just change the post request. Method type should be post. Save it. Okay, and when you relogin, login dot HTML, I got some okay, and I'm entering some password and clicking on login. I got invalid username and password. Please try again. There is no details attached here. That's the post request. Means the data is attached with the HTTP request body, then going to the server. Okay, not attaching with the URL. Okay, clear about this? So you have to try this in Eclipse. And one more thing. And one more thing you try. Now, suppose you wanted to store some data in the database. What you can do? You can just create a project. Okay, and in the front end, give some HTML file where you can enter the, suppose some student details you wanted to add, student name, student marks and student grade. You wanted to add one by one in the database. For that, you need to create a form. I'll just give, it will take time, but still I'll give just quickly, we'll see one example then. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll create one more project, new dynamic web project. Okay, database project, and click on next, classes next, deployment descriptor file generate, and finish the line. Okay, project will be created. Okay, first thing, you need a table. Connect. All right. How many tables we have? I guess only one. Or you can create a new table and add the data, or you can use the same table where you can map it. Okay, so let me just keep it there, and let's go to the while creating the project 2.5. Okay, we'll see that I already created. We can create one more project for that, but for now, let me create a servlet and data sample class, database demo, and click on next. Next. I don't want to do post or constructor or do get, just service method, and finish. Okay, your class is ready. I need a form data, web component. You can create a folder and give it as web component.